I believe that most people work way harder than they should to get the results. And small business owners work even harder than most. Unfortunately, that's not even the bad news. The bad news is that they actually believe that working that hard is normal, that it's the right way because everyone else works that hard too. So many experts, freelancers, and small business owners struggle to get clients, or they work too hard for clients that don't generate enough profits. And they put a lot of energy and time on activities that makes almost no difference for their business. But here's the good news. The good news is that I can guarantee you that if you will understand one thing, you can cut 80% of your effort and you can easily free 80% of your time. And that thing has nothing to do with your skills. It's 100% mindset. It is something that you don't normally notice in your life, but notice it once and you will never miss it again. This one thing will make you focus on the people that are eager to buy your products. It will show you how to focus only on what generates for you true profit and let go of everything else. It will help you invest your precious time only where it gives you the most return on your investment. Again, this doesn't require any special skill or unique talent. It is simply a mental magnifying glass that helps you see, decide, and act correctly. The moment I realized this thing, I couldn't stop noticing in every single day, in every part of my life. And that was the moment that I was suddenly generating more income than ever while working less than before. It was also the moment that my relationships improved easily and quickly. And I didn't have to be the best in 100 different things. I only had to focus on those things that mattered the most. I could go on and on and on, but I don't need to. I'm going to share with you this lesson in a 20-minute video that was recorded live in front of more than 700 entrepreneurs. Each paid 4,000 euros to learn this lesson and many others. In this video, I will share with you exactly how to change your focus towards the thing that matters, how to generate more profit, how to free more of your time, and how to create a bigger impact in your business and in your clients' lives. But just before we continue, please take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. This way I will be able to deliver you every week even more valuable lessons taken during my live events. See you in a moment. All right, we're gonna start. If you have, take a look at your feet for a moment. If you have shoes, if you brought shoes with you today, please stand up. It's part of the course, trust me. Okay? If you have shoes today, doesn't have to be on, but if you have shoes today, if you brought shoes with you, then stand up. Okay? If you brought shoes with you today, great. Now, if you own, listen carefully, it's important. If you own less than 4 pair of shoes, sit down. Okay? If you own less than 4 pair of shoes, sit down. Thank you. Shh. If you own less than 8 pair of shoes, please sit down. Okay. Guys, you need to listen to my instructions, and if you want to get the maximum out of it, you better be honest about that, okay? If you have less than 16 pair of shoes, please sit down. If you own less than 30 pairs of shoes, sit down. Guys, you need to be quiet. If you have less than 50 pairs of shoes, please sit down. It's okay. Guys, I'm trying to make a point here. Please stay with the numbers that you have. If you own less than 60 pair of shoes, please sit down. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, if you have only less than 70 pairs of shoes, please sit down. All right, less than 80 pairs of shoes, please sit down. All right. How many pairs of shoes you own? I need a mic, guys, very quickly. We need a mic to all of those, okay? So if you can just tell us how many shoes you own?
I think between 90 and 100.
Okay, between 90 and 100. Let's say 95. Yes. Where would you have a mic? Just give the mics quickly. Yes.
Same.
90 to 100. Okay, thank you. Let's call it 95. Guys, can we agree? Yeah.
I think over 100.
Over
but I'm
100
not
shoes?
counting
Okay,
them.
over 100 pairs of shoes. We have here, and the last one, or, yeah?
Over 100 pairs.
Over 100, yeah? If you already answered, I think there's somebody in the back. Yeah?
I think between 95 and 100.
All right, 95 to 100. Wonderful. All right, so first of all, give yourself a huge round of applause for having shoes. What you can see is that the minority of the people in this room own the majority of the shoes. Okay? Does that remind you something that we're talking already in the business bootcamp? It's called the 80-20 rule. Okay, it's called the 80-20 rule. You remember? 80% of your results created by 20% of your actions. But it fits for everything in life. This is going to be the session. It's a new session, never gave it before. Hopefully it will transform your life. Okay, what we saw here, and it's not just with the 6 women that stayed at the end, but all those women that were, or all those people, it doesn't have necessarily women, but all those people that had more than 50 pairs of shoes, they were very few, so they were about less than 20%, but they owned together more shoes than all the rest of the group is owning. Okay, and this is important. Everything in life, everything in nature is working this way. And this is very, very important to remember. If I have a shoe store, who should I go? To those people that sat when I said that they own more than 4 shoes, less than 4, and they sat, or those people that kept on standing when I was asking if they have less than 80 pairs of shoes sit down, they kept on standing. To whom should I offer shoes? To those 6. Now, there are 600 people in the room. About 600 people in the room. There are 6 women that stood there and said that they have, pretty much 100 or more than 100 pairs of shoes, right? Okay? Now, if I have a limited budget, which all of us have a limited budget, and I'm a shoe store, who are the people from all this room that I should actually talk to them about selling them new shoes? Those 6, right? Isn't it easier, faster, cheaper to attract 6 women than 600 people in this room? A lot easier, right? Now, what are the chances for me to convert those 6 women to buy my new pairs of shoes than to convert somebody that only own 4 pairs of shoes? Where will I have better conversion? Do you understand that people that women or people that have 100 pairs of shoes are not going to stop buying shoes because they have enough? Do you understand? Guys, it's in everything. People make the mistake again and again. They say, oh, but the person has enough of that or already have that, so he doesn't need me. That's not true. Your best client always will be the client that already bought stuff like that before. If you're selling ski vacations, you have much more chances to sell ski vacation for people that already took ski vacations than people that never took ski vacations. Do you understand that? People that took ski vacation probably took a few ski vacations, like ski vacation. They will go every year to a ski vacation. So go talk to them instead of going to somebody that doesn't go for ski because he doesn't like ski or doesn't know how to ski, never took ski vacation in their lives. But most people, no, those already, they know who to buy it from or they buy it already. So what? I'm telling people sometimes like, why don't you go to this type of people and ask them, to be their coach? And it says, well, they already have a coach. So what? They just prove that they are qualified buyers. So what if they have a coach? Offer them a better offer, make it irresistible, and they will take you. They're already proven. It's much easier for me to get people into the room that already did trainings before, preferably business trainings, than people that never ever did in their lives a training. Do you understand? Guys, do you understand? Yes. This is the rule of 2080. I'm going to give you another example. Another example from there, we're going to start seeing how it can change your life. We did the crowdfunding campaign for Save a Girl in March. How many of you are aware of that? All right, so the majority of the room was at that time with us. So we did, it was a charity, if you want, a philanthropic campaign, a crowdfunding campaign. We collected in total 130,000 euros in a month, okay, in 30 days. 30,000 of these 130 came as donation. People didn't want anything for that. They just wanted to give the money and that's it. 100,000 came from people that wanted something, I don't know if in return, but they got something in return. It's called in crowdfunding world or crowdfunding terminology, it calls perks. Right? We offer those gifts, those perks, those bonuses that when people contribute, they could get them. Okay? And we offer them for different levels of contribution. And I'm just looking at my notes because I can't remember it by heart, but yesterday I checked that. We had 235 contributors. And you don't need to write it down. I'm just trying to make a point. 235 people that contributed less than 1,000 euros. Okay, each one of them contributed less than 1,000. We had the 25 euros, we had the 100 euros, we had the 250 euros, we had the 500 euros, whatever. We had a few different prices or different perks. 235 people took less than 1,000 euros. Then there were 14 people that took perks that were 1,000 euros to 2,500. We had only two. We had 1,000 euros a dinner with Verd and me for 5 people, so every person would pay 1,000 euros. So we got 5,000 for a dinner, and 2,500 was people could get, I think, 2 of their trainings or something like that. So there were those, and there were 14 people that took that. Okay. Now there were 4. Let's call them 4, although it's not real 4. We took 4 people that took each one of them the 10,000 euro perk. Okay. Actually, it's not really 4 because it was 2 couples. One couple took 20,000 euros and they came to Tenerife for spending a week with us, and another couple that took 2 and they are coming to Nepal with us to Nepal to see the girls when we're going in April next year. Okay, so in total, if you calculate it, it's about 250 people. In total. It's not exactly, it's about that. In total, we had collected from those people in total 100,000 euros, almost exact. It was 99,000 something. Another 30,000 was from donations, so they are not people that got something for it. Now, here's the interesting thing. This is 93% of the people gave less than 1,000 euros. Okay, 93% of the people gave less than 1,000 euros. 5.5% gave this in this amount, and only 1.5%, or less than 1% if you count it as 2 people, gave 10,000. Let's say that I want to do another crowdfunding campaign tomorrow for something similar. Okay? What would be and by the way, just to show you how it goes, they in total contributed 40,000 euros, they in total contributed 20,000 euros in total, all the 14, and those in total 40,000 euros. That's how the 100,000 comes. Okay, so 235 people gave in total this, 14 gave in total 20,000, and 4 people gave 40,000. That's the 4 times 10,000. Yes? So if tomorrow I'm doing another crowdfunding campaign, and I have a good cause and I want to get people to contribute, and I don't have a lot of resources, where should I focus? On which type of people? Of those 4 people. It's so much easier to get 4 people to get each one of them to give 10,000. Actually, in our case, it was very easy because it was only 2 couples that basically phoned us and actually begged us to do that because we kind of took it away because nobody took it before them. So 4 people to pay 10,000 instead of running after 235 that will generate exactly the same amount of money. Just to show you how the 80-20 works. Okay? There's the minority of the people that will create a major result for you. Major result. Do you see that? Guys, are you with me? How many of you heard about the 80-20 rule before, either from us or from somebody else? You heard about it before, okay? So I think it's every hand in the room. Is there anybody that never heard about it, has no clue what it is? Okay, so we have a couple of people. So basically the 80-20 rule is what I mentioned before. It's called the Pareto Principle. There was an Italian economist that found out that 80% of the land is being owned by 20% of the people. For example, 80% of the wealth is being held by 20% of the people. He found out that there's this relationship that says that the minority of something creates the majority of something else. It's not really 80-20, it can be 90-10, it can be 70-30, it can be 70-10. It's not really, it has to come together to 100. The point is that the minority of something creates the majority of something else. Now, except the 2 people, every one of you heard about that. Now, my question to you is, for how many of you that has transformed your life in every possible way? I mean, personal life, health, business, relationships, everything, to hear that. Okay, we have about 15 people, and you're the lucky ones. Okay, I heard about the 80-20 rules long time ago, probably 30 years ago, and I understood it, and I started to implement that. But every time that I went deeper in that, I saw how big the difference that it makes in my life. 20% of your actions will create 80% of your results in everything that you do. Everything. And we're going to talk about here about business, and I'm going to give you exactly what you need to do. I'm going to give you the practicals, but I really want you, I'm giving a little bit of a pep talk here because when you understand it, your life, it's like you're looking through glasses, if you didn't see so well, and suddenly there's your glasses that you see everything so clear, and everything becomes so simple. I'm going to give you a very simple example. If 20% of your actions create 80% of your results and everything in life, then probably 20% of your actions with your husband or wife, for example, is creating the 80% of the results in your relationship. The happiness in your relationship, for example. So if you can figure out what are those few actions that you're doing with your husband or wife that creates the most happiness in your relationship, all you have to do is those. You can forget about taking the garbage every day. Not so important, unless that's one of those 20%, and in some relationship it is. Guys, in some relationship it is. But we are spending most of our time in the relationship, for example, investing in something that's actually not making a big difference. And we forget those small things. Did it ever happen to you that you did a small gesture? It just took you a minute to think about it, and maybe it was a phone call you did, maybe it was, you do the little doodle for them on their sandwich on the way to work, or something small that you did that made them so happy, and they were like acknowledging you for that for the whole day. Did it ever happen to you that you did something like that? And that's it. It was one time, and you forgot about it. But this action is it might be a 20% of your action. Actually, it's probably 1% of your action, but it might create 80% or 90% of the happiness of that person or of your relationship for that day, and we forget about it. And what we're focusing is only all the other things that, make a difference, but not that big. And it's in everything else. It's in your relationship with your kids. It's in your relationship to your health. We are busy, Vered and me are very busy now trying to figure out, how to live forever pretty much. So we're trying everything. Okay, we're trying everything. We're learning from everyone that we can learn. We try all kinds of things. And some things works and some things don't work, or we don't see the results very much. And what we're trying to figure out is what are the 20% of the things that we can do that will actually prolong our life or keep us healthy for as long as possible. Because you can be busy 24 hours with your health. We can. We have the time, and we try so many things. So if we calculate all them together, we probably spend sometimes 6 to 8 hours taking care of our health. But what is really making a difference? We found out that there's 3 or 4 things that if we do them, you can drop all the rest, and they will provide us for 80 or 90% of the health that we need. Okay? If I wouldn't think this way, I would just keep on doing more and more things. Today I'm judging everything based on, how much effort it takes. Effort can be, any kind of resource. Effort, time, money, whatever it is, and how much value it gives at the end. And it's in everything else. We're going to talk right now mainly about business. So the minority of your actions will create the majority of your results. But it's not just about actions. It's about the minority of something in your life will create the majority of something else. For example, 80%, and just check it for yourself, 80% of the incoming calls, when your phone is ringing, is from 20% of the people, right? It might be that 1,000 people calling you a month, but 800 phone calls will be from your kids, your husband, your wife, maybe your partner at work, right? The 80% of your calls will come from the minority of the people in your list. Is that okay? How many of you recognize that? Okay, I'm just giving you examples, and if it doesn't work in your life, don't raise your hand, but it's usually like that. 80% of your profits will come from 20% of your clients. We'll show you that in ours. I'm going to tell you our numbers in a moment. Okay, I'm going to be very open with our numbers just to show you. 80% of your profits will come from 20% of your clients. Again, don't get attached to the 80-20. It might be that in your case it's not 80-20. It might be 70-10. It might be 60-50, whatever. But the minority of your clients will generate the majority of your profits. How many of you, if you think right now, if you have a business, if you have some profits, how many of you can figure out and say, yeah, if I'm looking at that, then this client and this client and this client are the most profitable. All the rest are, yeah? Okay, this is important to recognize because we don't treat them differently. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, I'm going to show you what we're doing and how bad we're doing that. I'm ashamed, when I know this so well and I'm not doing enough on that. It's going to change now, but it was good for me to do this process and prepare this session for you because I saw so many things that can be improved all the time. Okay, 80% of your turnover, 80% of your income will come from 20% of your products. If you have a few products, then you will notice that 80% of your income will come, or turnover will come from the minority of your products. Okay, we have quite a lot of trainings, but the majority of the income comes from a Master Entrepreneur Financial Framework to Success, which is a package. We do the Business University, but it's much less. The mentoring is way less. The majority of our turnover is from 3 products, basically. Master Entrepreneur Financial Framework to Success when they combine together. And they are just 3 weekends. The Business University is 5 weekends. Okay, for example, it's much longer than that, but it generates a lot less than that. Okay, 80% of your work conflicts will be with 20% of your employees, if you have employees. How many of you, and by the way, you don't have to have employees. Just remember the days that you were an employee yourself, right? I mean, 80% of the troubles that you're going to have is from, and by the way, it can be also with clients. 80% of the complaints you get are from 20% of your clients. Would you agree? Again, don't get caught on that 80-20, but the majority is from the minority. This is really important. 80% of your website traffic comes from 20% of the sources. It might be Google, search engine. It might be from a certain website that refers you. It might be, I don't know what, but 80% of your traffic, 80%, actually for us probably more than 80% of the traffic comes from the emails that we send you every Tuesday. That's 80% of our traffic. We're not getting a lot of traffic from Google or from search engines. We don't get traffic from other places. We get it mostly from that, and that's important to know. If you know that, then don't put effort on others and put more effort on this. We'll talk about it. I can go on and on and on, and I actually have quite a big list for that. So there are some things that are incredibly valuable that you sometimes need to put almost zero effort in order to get them. Almost zero effort. I noticed that with the relationship with Vert, sometimes if I will use certain words, I will get a huge effect. It's certain words. If I will do a certain touch, it will get a certain, or in a certain moment, it will get so much more effect in our relationship than anything else. Than all those times that we're spending together. And for us, it's a very good reflection. It's not fitting with most of your lives, but we're 24 hours together. Okay, for many, many, many years. We're living together, we're working together, we're now that we're in Tenerife, we're kind of in a limited situation because we are in the middle of the nowhere to the left. We are almost all the time together, so we can see what works and what doesn't work, and we can see that actually a few moments, a few things that we're doing together makes a huge difference. By the way, it goes the other way around, right? It's the minority of the things that you do that are bad that will kill a relationship. Okay, this is something that Vered always says. People are not separated because of infidelity or because of big things. Most relationships are ending long time before that because you didn't take the garbage. When I asked you, it's the small things. Okay, it's the small things that we do. So this is good to remember in everything in life. Everything in life. The reason why I'm mentioning that and why I'm making it a big thing instead of just going straight into the practicalities, what do you do with that, is because I really want you to change your life and start looking at your life from these new glasses and say, hey, everything that I'm doing has an influence, but there are things that will make much bigger influence than others. Let's focus on those. When you start looking at that, anything that you're doing changes. Your life is changing. For me, every day is new opportunities for actually creating huge results without any effort. Without any effort. We're putting so much budget, not necessarily in money, but in money, in effort, in time, to get new clients. But if those are not the right clients or those are not the right channels, like many of you are spending hours on Facebook. Facebook doesn't bring anybody a client. Almost never. For sure not the social. Okay, but we're spending so much time on that. It's so easy to do something as sending an email, short email, and that's it. And you're filling up whatever it is that you want to do, if you do it the right way. By the way, did I mention that 20% of your clients will generate 80% of your profits? Yeah? Well, what is interesting is that sometimes 20% of your clients actually bring you 100% of your profits. I'm saying profits, not turnover. Because you know that you have clients today that if you're doing the income and the outcome that comes from them and the real amount of hours that you spend on them, you might be even losing money on them. They pay you, but with the amount of hours that you're spending on them because of dealing with complaints, because they're returning stuff, because you need to, whatever it is, redo stuff for them or whatever it is, you're actually losing money on them. But we're looking at the average. We're looking at the average, we're doing okay. Average is absolutely not important for you. You need to look at the extremes. Those clients that are for you are the most profitable, those clients that for you are the least profitable, and then you do something with those that are profitable, which we'll talk about it, and you do something with those that are not profitable, which this can be pretty clear, right?